Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live talk of The Crown. Hello, I hope you've all had an amazing and fabulous week. Do you know what? I forgot to do my fan flap because, as you've noticed, let me do the fan flap. We are in a slightly different area of my office and I'm trying out a bit of a different set. So, do let me know what you think about the different set. Now, what I could probably do with doing is probably just moving that down slightly. There we go. I will get this right. How do I look in here? By the way, I am wearing, of course, the Cambridge Lovers Knot tiara. I hope you all can see that. And I've got my computer over here on my table, and I have my drink of tea. I hope you've all got your drinks of tea. I've got herbal tea, ginger, lemon, and honey. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, let me put it onto live chat as well, so that I know I'm following it all live. Dawn says, hello, hope you're all having a nice Saturday. I know I am. So let me know. Okay, I did put a poll, well, kind of like a poll. I asked people's opinions in the patrons only group, and I asked my moderators that did you think that the flag should be like over here, or have the bookcase, or just the flag? But I decided to go with both. I put the flag over there on my chest of drawers, and I've gone with my bookcase right there. Chris Fisher says your office looks great. Thank you. H London says you look grand. Well, thank you as well. Laurie says I like your background. Well, thank you. And of course, I can change the flag to whatever kind of topic we're on. And we have the lovely Queen, the goddess. The goddess is on the wall behind us. Elderly Poodle says, why can't I hear? I don't know. Refresh. Can you all hear me? I don't know. Oh, I think we have a troll in. Let me just deal with troll. There we go. Troll has been hid. Flossin Pain says, bad form hanging the flag sideways. Well, unfortunately, I can't really do it any other way. Hello to Veronique in Normandy. Okay, people can hear me, that's fine. Janice Kennedy says, hello Elliot and everybody, I love the new background. I'm lying in bed sick, oh no. And just popped in, so happy to be on the chat. Well, I'm very, very happy to have you. Now, I'm probably thinking, the one thing I do need to get right is where I put my table, because I feel like I'm looking at the side when I don't need to be. So let's just move that over here and put that there. Oh, that's better, because when I'm reading, I don't look like I'm looking over at the side, wistfully at something. Beth Ann says the set looks perfect. It's ready to put my coaster. I have a royal coaster. It's a crown. Can you see? See my coaster? Constance loves the new set. Margaret loves my mug. Oh, it's Royal Dalton. It's Royal Dalton. You probably can't see underneath, but it's if I get to the bottom of my cup, I'll show you. It's my Royal Dalton, but there's no hand-painted periwinkles. Well, I thought I'd wear this one today because obviously Catherine wore it for the diplomatic reception. Now, of course, those people who are new to my weekly live chat, basically we just talk about anything to do with the British royal family. I do have a few notes to hand, but basically you guys pretty much ask all the questions that you want to ask that I've got written down anyway. H London says the Christmas tree in the Great Hall at Windsor is gorgeous. It is, and if you haven't seen my Christmas tree video of the Queen's Christmas trees going up in the royal residences, do go and watch that. It's the video prior to this one, and I kind of put two royal, well, one royal engagement and the Queen's Christmas trees together in one video, because obviously it's the Queen's parade at Sandringham, and Sophie was there, and of course it's the Queen's Christmas trees. So there we go. Samantha says, go the notes, very excited. No, I've not read. I've heard about the Stephanie Powers article, but I've not read it yet. I've been too busy to read Stephanie Powers' article. That sounds like a load of rubbish. Anyway, but I will read it. Shriner says, "Hope you got my Christmas card. I'll bet you're glad the election." Oh yes, I am most definitely glad the election is over. Oh, I mean, I said before that I hoped it would go. I hoped it would be decisive. Either way, I didn't want a hung parliament. So I'm glad we haven't got a hung parliament, and I did. I got what I wanted, and that was that a decisive decision was made by the country one way or the other, and that was what I asked for, and that's what I got. So yes, somebody higher up was listening, most definitely. Jonathan White says 1,000 people at the diplomatic reception. What did they serve? They eat in it's in different rooms, I do believe, the dining, and I think it's almost like different shifts. So when I read a little bit about that, it's not all 1,000 people in one sitting. It's slightly different rooms, and I think there's two sittings. So probably 250 in each room, I think, was what I read. Candice, I don't know how to help you, who says, for some reason I cannot log into Patreon. It tries but fails. I don't know. All I can think is, if you're doing it on the app, maybe delete the app and reload it. But I don't know what to say if you're going into it from just the computer. I don't know. You might need to email Patreon support about that. Nancy D says, good morning all. I have to set my alarm for earlier. Looking very dapper as always. Well, thank you so much. Sharona says, can't wait for another Queen's speech. Right, so this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. So, obviously, whenever we have a general election, technically the person who's won the election, who represents the party, the leader of the party that's won, goes to the Queen, and of course that happened yesterday, and Boris Johnson, who is the leader of the Conservative Party, who won the election by an 80-something seat majority, which was a very decisive appointment, shall we say, direction by the nation, did go to the Queen. He travelled by car, and the Queen asked him to form a government, or if he can form a government, and he said yes, and he accepted her invitation to form a government, and there we have it. From that moment, he was officially Prime Minister. Again, because obviously he was Prime Minister prior to this election, so he retained his premiership, and obviously he's gone on to form a new government, and basically we are going to have a new Queen's speech. Now you're probably thinking, didn't we just have one? Yes, we did under the old Parliament, but we get a new one, and there is talk about this one possibly being on the 19th of December, which is the day prior to when we expect the Queen to leave from London to go to Sandringham for her Christmas holidays. So, if Thursday the 19th of December is true and accurate, we don't know, we haven't had complete confirmation yet, but if that is true and accurate, there is also talk about it being a more stripped back opening of Parliament. Now, I'm thinking that could be similar to the stripped back one that we had, not the last time, but the time before, when the Queen was wearing just like a normal blue daywear. So I'm thinking it could be very, very similar to that, but we'll have to wait and see. So there will be a Queen's speech. We think it's going to be the 19th of December, and we think it could possibly be quite stripped back. Sharona says, can't wait for another Queen's speech. Oh, and of course, this time around, whatever is in the Queen's speech, obviously the Queen's speech is written by the Conservative Party. It's a lot more likely that whatever is in the Queen's speech will now be deliverable because of the Conservative majority in Parliament that they didn't have at the last Queen's speech. Samantha says that poor woman needing to speak all the time. Well, yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do feel sorry for the Queen having to do another one in such a short space of time, but she is a pro. She is a goddess. She is a goddess. And she is a pro. She will just do it. She will just do it. She is a royal machine. She will do it. She'll just power through and do it. She'll put on her power suit and go. Seize the day. Let's have a look. Karen says, I don't believe... Oh, I'm not quite sure. I think I've missed a whole conversation thread going on here. Okay, right. So going back to the diplomatic reception, which is one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. So the diplomatic reception is held annually, and it is, of course, to kind of, you know, show welcome to all the diplomats from around the world, and of course members of a big selection of the royal family attend. Now, we don't, you know, we do get some photos from inside, but we also get the arrivals. Now, the arrivals were the first photographs that we had back, giving any hints as to what people are wearing. And some of the first photos that came out were, of course, of Catherine and Prince William in the car. And we got to see that Catherine was wearing the Cambridge Lovers Not tiara and what appeared to be either a black or a deep blue dress. Now, it was confirmed later that it was a deep blue dress, and of course it had quite a severe blue V. Now, it was velvet, and it was like a really dark blue, but it photographed black. I don't know what other people thought, but when I saw it, my first thought before I knew that it was blue was, oh my god, why is she wearing black? And I have to say, I loved the dress. I loved the cut of the dress. I loved the style. Catherine would look good in a bin bag. I mean, let's be honest. But I didn't like the colour. I didn't think the colour was right for that occasion. I like to see, you know, bright pastels, you know, pinks, blues, whites, cream even, red, you know. I like to see a colour. I don't know, I just thought it was too dark. I thought it was too dark a colour for that occasion. It was a beautiful dress. It was the cut, the style, it looked gorgeous on her. But I don't think it was the right colour in my own view for that occasion. It looked too dark. It was too dark a colour, and I'm sure in person it probably looked a lot more blue than what it photographed. But it photographed very dark, and I don't know. I just wasn't kind of keen on it. And usually I'm always very happy with whatever the Duchess of Cambridge wears, but I love the style. I just thought the colour choice was wrong. But the jewels that she accompanied it with, oh my goodness. The tiara, now she wore the Cambridge Lovers Not tiara, which again, I am always happy to see. But I kind of wanted to see this one again. I do like the lotus flower tiara, and this is one that she has worn previously on previous occasions. So, let's do a little bit of a tiara swap, because I wanted to see this one. So I'm going to wear it now. Ha ha ha. There we go. So I wanted to see this one again. I just like it. I like the fact that it's easy to wear. Being an avid tiara wearer myself, it's fairly more lightweight. I like the spikes on it. I just think it's really gorgeous. But she did team it with she borrowed the Queen's Nazim of Hyderabad necklace that went down. It fitted perfectly in that deep, kind of quite sharp V on the front, which I thought was really lovely. And she was also debuting what seemed to be a new ring. Now, I don't know. It's quite a large diamond ring, and I don't know. I don't think I've seen it before. I think it is new. I don't have a recollection of seeing it on any other royals. I don't think it's maybe borrowed from the Queen, although one can't be completely sure if it's not borrowed from the Queen. It could just be something that's been in the royal collection for a very long time and just never really been seen. Or it could be completely new. It could have been commissioned by William and given as a gift. This could have been the first time that it was debuted. We really don't know. Let me just see what people are kind of... I'm going to scoot all the way down to the bottom. Samantha says, how many tiaras do I have? 17, I think. 17-ish. 17-ish-ish-ish. Lauren says, have I sent my Christmas cards to the royals? No. With everything that's been going on in my life, getting the house, new relationship, I haven't. I have done some Christmas cards, but not to the royals. I'm afraid this year I may not do it. It's probably a bit too late now. You are more than welcome to still try, but it may be a little bit late. I don't entirely know. But usually I do moonpig the Queen and the royals. So yes, next year I will probably moonpig them again. It's always good to moonpig the Queen. Samantha says, oh my god, 7... Oh, well, shall we do a quick count? Oh no, I can't because it's in my drawer. Well, I mean, okay, just up here alone, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've got 5. There's 4 up there. There's 4 on the shelf up there, and I'm wearing 1. I've probably got about 17. Yes, I do think it's about 17. Lauren Walker says, I moonpig too. Nancy says, dear Elliot, I don't think I'm alone, but I adore your tiaras. For some odd reason, I don't realise Her Majesty wears tiaras. Oh, bless me. Gesundheit. That just came on. For some reason, I didn't realise Her Majesty wore tiaras too. Well, of course. I loan mine to Her Majesty on long-term loan. Jill says, I couldn't tell if the ring was the same that she wore to Meghan and Harry's wedding. It was thought to be a push present after Louis' birth. Ooh, now I don't recollect what ring she was wearing at Meghan's wedding. Meghan and Harry's wedding. I can't quite remember. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to Google it now. You've got me going. Let's have a look. Duchess of Cambridge, Harry, Meghan, wedding. Let's see. I'm going to have a little peek because I can't remember the ring, and usually I remember any kind of, more unusual jewels. So let's just take a little peek, shall we? Okay, I'm zooming in. I can see Diana's engagement ring. She is wearing a second ring, but I can't make out if it's the same one. I can't get a clear picture. Ooh, right, I'll be taking some time out to have a look later. But I can't quite make that one out. Larissa says, maybe the ring is a gift from William. That was my thought. Maybe it could be. Maybe William got the ring as a gift from the Middle East tour. That's another good one. That's a very, very good one because often a lot of the Middle Eastern royal families do gift jewellery because they have lots of it and they're extremely wealthy. So a lot of them do gift royals jewellery when they visit, when they come on foreign tours. Leonard says it was a yellow citrine. Ooh, I thought it looked like a diamond, but hey, it could be. It could have just been the photograph. Lauren says, your predictions for the Royals for 2020. Ooh, 2020. I think a pregnancy announcement from the Duchess of Cambridge for the pregnancy of her 4th child, and I think her last. That's my prediction for 2020. I also think maybe a late 2020 announcement for the pregnancy for Harry and Meghan. Maybe. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe a kind of, April, May announcement for the Cambridges, maybe a September, October, Christmas announcement for the Sussexes, perhaps. Um, I mean, I don't think we'll have any high profile royal deaths occurring in 2020. I have my fingers crossed that there won't be, and I'm touching my wooden shelf. Um, and I think that there will be some kind of conclusion to the whole what's going on with Prince Andrew, one way or the other. I think something will happen, but I'm not entirely sure which way that will go. But there we go. Flosnog Payne says, best news of the week, the bequest towards a new Royal Yacht. Yes. And I did bring you that news in a previous live chat. So £50 million, a bequest has been left to the royal family to put towards the commissioning of a new Royal Yacht. Now, as we know, Royal Yachts are very expensive. Any type of yacht is very expensive. And 50 million is just a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction needed. But it could be an amount to get the whole project off the ground. It could be the design stage. That could meet the cost of the very early stages of the commissioning of a new Royal Yacht, but we don't have any official information on that yet, because any further money that would be needed to put into it has obviously not been found or announced yet. So, we also don't know if, for example, a new Royal Yacht can't be commissioned, or it can't get funding from elsewhere, from government or from private sources, then we don't know whether that 50 million is conditional up on a Royal Yacht actually being commissioned. So we don't know what would happen to that money if, for example, a new Royal Yacht couldn't be taken forward. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But at least it is a very interesting new development on the whole Royal Yacht issue. And of course, I am a complete advocate of a new Royal Yacht. I think it would be amazing. I would love the Queen to know that there is a new Royal Yacht, in circulation for royal use, for the use of England and Britain and the UK, before anything happens to her. So I think that would be really, really good. Before anything happens to her. So I think that would be really, really good for the Queen. It would be like an amazing present for the Queen. Yes, maybe it could be a yellow diamond. But maybe it could be. Larissa says, I have a strong feeling that there will be another baby Cambridge. Any reliable word on how Princess Beatrice is doing? No, I'm afraid, in terms of reliable word, no, I'm afraid not. Lady Buckingham says, there is free speech as long as it is not abusive or spreading nasty. Right, I think in the UK, we kind of have that take on free speech. We do have free speech in the UK, but people can't do anything, can't say anything or write anything that is, no, maybe not write anything, but say anything that's kind of really inflammatory. Or, for example, if someone was to say something, we have anti-homophobia laws and that kind of thing. So people could find themselves in hot water if they did that. But yeah, in terms of free speech, we do have free speech, but, it's what you choose to do with your free speech. You can choose to be sort of nasty and horrible to people with your free speech, or you can be constructive with your free speech. And I think in the UK, we try to be more constructive with it. I know that a lot of the royal reporters and some of the monarchy's more characters who criticise the monarchy and people within the royal family, they don't exercise that, but they should. They most definitely should. Deborah says, censored speech is not free speech. Let me clarify what I was kind of saying. In the UK, we have anti-hate speech laws going on. So people can say what they want, but if it breaches those laws, then they are liable for whatever comes their way, depending on what they've said and in what context they've said it in, and what the result of that speech was to an individual or a group of people. Right, let's move on, because like some of the comments that I'm reading are getting a little bit like I don't even know what's going on in there. I think I've missed whole sections of conversations going on. So let's move on to the Queen is now hiring a new social media expert. So a new post has come up. Let me just find where that's gone. Here we go. So a new post has come up at Buckingham Palace for £50,000 a year for a social media expert to maintain her presence in the public eye, and that is in quotes. So the actual job position is Head of Digital Engagement, and the post was put on LinkedIn. So it's to manage things like the royal family's social medias, Twitter, Facebook, that kind of thing. I don't know if that includes the royal family's YouTube channel or not, I don't know. But the role is said to be perfect for someone willing to never stand still. Now, I'm quite happy about this because I've said for a very, very long time that I think the royal family kind of underestimated the power of social media. Yes, they've been using it. Yes, they were, they adopted the new technologies fairly early on. But I don't think they have fully realised the potential of what it could be in relation to their own control over the media. And I've said myself, I would love for them to, hire people, young disadvantaged people from the Prince's Trust who have skills to maybe, take photos, take videos that could be put on the royal family's social medias for people to share, use, to promote the word of the monarchy. And I'm really, really pleased that somebody is hopefully going to get a grip on the potential of the royal family within social media. I feel like they've just been kind of treading water with social media at the moment, but I think it could be expanded a lot. We could have them putting out their own photographs, their own videos, which would mean less of a grip on the royal family by the mainstream traditional forms of media, such as the print press. And I think that's good. I think that's very, very, very good, and also healthy, that it's not just kind of cornered by one section of what's come to be almost expected to be monopolised by a certain group of media. And I think it's a realisation, finally, of the royal family, by the royal family, that people get their news in different ways, and that one of the growing ways is online. Online is huge. But it also means that, for example, if YouTube channels or blogs use the content, or if the traditional print press use the content put out by the royal family, if the royal family don't like how it's being used, they retain the copyright and they can pull it. So I think it's really, really good for the royal family to have that control. It's what I've been saying for a very, very long time, and I hope they find the perfect person. Another quote from the LinkedIn advert says it wants to find someone to find new ways to maintain the Queen's presence in the public eye and on the world stage. So they are looking for someone who wants to spread the word of the royal family, and I think it's a really, really good move. I really, really do. So the royal family, and I'm talking about just the royal family in terms of the Queen, on Facebook has 4.9 million followers, and a further 4.1 million on Twitter and 6.9 million on Instagram. And I'm not counting Harry and Meghan, I'm not counting William and Catherine, or Eugenie, or the Prince of Wales, or any other. So that's just the Queen herself. So I'm thinking that this advert is just relating to the Queen at the moment, but we do know that other Clarence House, Sussex Royal, Kensington Royal, they are all in control of their own social media, but I still think it's underused and undervalued, underpromoted at present. So I'm hoping that this will kind of spearhead um, more of a more of them putting out their own social media content, and I'm hoping that will filter through to the others. So let me hear people's thoughts and opinions on that. Lady Buckingham says, own pics would be fabulous. Wouldn't it just? It really, really would. Let's go up. Sharona says, from what I can see, Catherine's new ring is a cluster diamond ring. Her ring she wore in May is an emerald cut citrus ring. Yeah, I mean, I can say I didn't think it looked the same, but I will have a really good look after. Mikhail says, I agree completely with what I've said about, I think, about the social media comments. Cypher says, Meghan and Harry's influence with Sussex Royal has reached Her Majesty. Or she could have just watched my channel and taken my advice. Live, Love and Laugh says, I was so excited catching a live show, I didn't even notice the background. Very nice. Love it. Oh, you are more than welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Or enjoying it. Yes, Duchess of St Andrews, the Queen's royal standard is appropriate behind her picture. I would agree. Margaret says, I think it would be absolutely lovely if all 4 of the young royal women were pregnant in 2020. What a joyful experience. Oh, I forgot about Eugenie. Eugenie could be as well. And who knows, maybe even Beatrice. Maybe all of them will. Maybe, who knows? Helene says, I agree so much. The webpage of the British monarchy is so hard to navigate. The Norwegian crown princesses use Instagram quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping everything will get a bit of a revamp. Nancy D says, that's really a lovely idea for hiring a young person from the trust. It would be amazing. And there is so much, you know, young, undiscovered talent out there. And the Prince's Trust, the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, he has done an amazing job with the Prince's Trust. It really does help disadvantaged young people from disadvantaged backgrounds to really project themselves and make use of their talents and their aspirations and get them into their own business or the world of work. It is an amazing organisation, and you know, it makes such a contribution to society. And look, you can most definitely say that there will be undiscovered talent out there in the Prince's Trust that could be used for photographs, for videography, and those are the people that they should be drawing upon. I really do think so. Satonia Smith says, the Duchess of Cambridge looked stunning. I do love her in brighter colours. Live, Love and Laugh says, the lighting is perfect. Thank you. I have one of my big stage lights in front of me. Kat Harlan says, I'm looking forward to the kick-off of the Royal Sussex Foundation in 2020. I'm predicting great projects to help the community. Oh yes, I almost forgot about that one. And yes, it will be launching in 2020. And we have no idea yet as to what's actually being cooked up behind the scenes by Harry and Meghan. We have no idea. I mean, obviously, I think we have an idea of the themes and the topics that they will be addressing, but we don't know how. I mean, who could have predicted the Grenfell cookbook with the Hub Community Kitchen? Who could have predicted the Smart Works like for like scheme that Meghan came up with? So there will probably be some amazing things coming up that we can only dream of. Gilbert says, your office and this chat are fabulous. Everything looks great. Thank you. And I'm really, really glad to be using all of my office space. Oh, now back to the diplomatic reception, because Catherine wasn't the only one who was potentially wearing some new jewels. The Queen was wearing her emeralds. Now, she had the Vladimir tiara on, which is the linked circle tiara. She had it, it was bequeathed into the royal family, I think to Queen Mary, by the Grand Duchess Vladimir, which is why it's known as the Vladimir tiara. In fact, actually, I can probably read you some information because I have in front of me the Queen's Diamonds book, and I did mark out a few pages. So let me see if I can find one. Ooh, I have the Nazim of Hyderabad necklace on there, but where was the Vladimir tiara? Let me just take a peek. That was the one that... Right, hang on. Here we go. Right, yes, the Vladimir tiara. So, it was attributed to its creation in 1874. And it was made for the Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna, wife of the Grand Duke Vladimir. And she was a sister-in-law of Emperor Alexander III of the Russian court. I'm just trying to see how it came into possession. Here we are. Yes, so upon her death, the tiara was sold by the Grand Duchess's daughter, Princess Nicholas of Greece, to Queen Mary. So it was actually sold to Queen Mary. The tiara had suffered on its journey from Russia, as confirmed by a charge from Garrard the following year, for restoring, renovating it as far as possible, and replacing two missing brilliants. Queen Mary had the tiara adapted in 1924 to take 15 of the Cambridge emeralds as an alternative to the original pearls. So there we go. And it was bequeathed to the Queen by Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, in it was given, upon Queen Mary's death in 1953. So, there we have it. And the Queen wasn't wearing it with the pearls, she was wearing it with the emeralds. And it's believed, and we think it is a brand new necklace. Now, it was a really heavy looking emerald necklace. Now, I have to say, emeralds aren't my favourite gemstone. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just not my favourite. So, and by the way, my birthstone is peridot, so peridot or peridot, as some people say. So, emeralds are not my favourite, and that necklace, I have to say, I didn't like it. I really didn't like. Just the same as I didn't like the colour of Catherine's dress. I didn't like all those emeralds. I thought it was too busy. It looked too heavy. I didn't like the way the emeralds kind of hung at a kind of weird angle, sticking out. It reminded me of spiders' legs with things attached to them. I didn't like it, I have to say. I've seen better necklaces, and if that's a brand new one, I have no idea who on earth designed that piece, because I did not like it one bit. No, I just didn't. Let me know what you think. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Queen always looks gorgeous, but that necklace, man, where's my fan? No, I was not a fan of the necklace. I just didn't like it. Cypher says, too heavy, too busy. I agree. Keep it simple and elegant. Shrona says, maybe you just don't like dark green. No, it's not really I don't like dark green. I just don't like emeralds. Lauren says, must send my congratulations on over 96,000 subscribers. Well, thank you so much. Larissa says, there's Mary Berry Christmas show with the Duchess of Cambridge this week. Oh yes, it's called, is it a Merry Berry Christmas, or a Very Berry Christmas, or something of that nature. And yes, Catherine is featuring in part of it, we think. So she definitely recorded some elements of it. I don't know if she's all the way through or just in a certain segment, but it does look to be very good. Constance says, a really fine emerald is an exquisite jewel and such a beautiful colour. Joseph says, we don't hear much about the Duke of Edinburgh. Is he well? Is he alright? A good man who has been a pillar of support to Her Majesty the Queen. Again, I concur with you. We haven't heard much about him. all I can say is no news is good news, and we haven't had any reports that he's in hospital. I mean, I've seen some reporters speculating that he's not in good health, um, but I haven't seen any examples of that. I mean, every few weeks or whatever, we do tend to see maybe bits of him carriage driving, that kind of thing. But we haven't had any official information on if he is actually well or not. All I would say is that good news is no news is probably good news. Are they cooking in the Merry Berry Christmas? I think so. Yes. Jamie L says the emeralds were too big, and I just think they didn't hang right. They were at jaunty angles, and no, I just didn't like it. Scott Goff says it's the updated Greville emerald necklace the Queen was wearing. Now let me see. I don't think I have. Let me just see if I can find the Greville emerald necklace. And because I have got the Queen's Diamonds book, but I don't think that one is actually in the book. So let me just take a little peek of it. I'm just looking. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it could be, couldn't it? Do you know what? I think it could be. I'm just trying to compare the size, because I got a photograph of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, wearing the Greville emerald tiara, and I'm just trying to see if the square emeralds are of a similar size. I don't know. They look slightly smaller on the Queen. Yeah. I'm not 100% convinced. If you look at the Greville emeralds on... it might be. It could be. It could be. It could just be the perspective of the photo. But why it's been altered, I have no idea. If that's the same one, I have no idea why it's been altered. It looked beautiful in its original Greville emerald form. Please Google it. Please Google the Greville emerald necklace. You will see the Queen Mother wearing it, and of course there are photos of the Queen wearing it too. And yeah, I don't know why they would. If that is the same necklace, I have no idea why they would do that to it. No, I don't like it. If that's the same one, I don't like what they've done to it. I have to say. No. Elderly Poodle says it's always better for the soul to speak without contempt. Oh, most definitely. Lilith says Her Majesty looked stunning. She did. I just wasn't fond of the necklace. Yes, I agree. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Candice says I love all jewels. The more, the merrier. And Rosa says, why are some of the charities that Catherine has started? I want to know if I can donate. If you go to Heads Together and also the Royal Foundation, and you will see a full comprehensive list. There are lots, and you will see a full comprehensive list. Veronica says the Queen looks smaller every day. Well, when people get older, they do tend to go. They shrink a little bit. Bentley says the website the court jeweller says there were two. Right. Okay. If you give me a moment, I will consult. This book was put out by the royal family, so there is a whole section on the Greville diamonds. So let me see if it's included in the Greville collection. Let me just check. Hang on. Right, we have the Greville bow brooch, the Greville tiara, the Greville chandelier earrings, the Greville scroll brooch, Greville festoon necklace, the Greville ivy clips. No, it's not. I mean, this book mainly just centres on the Queen's diamonds. There are some pieces that are mainly diamond based with jewels in, with gemstones, but in terms of that particular necklace, I don't have uh, the information on that in this book. But it could be, it could well be. I mean, it is a very similar base necklace to the Greville Emerald one, as Scott Goff mentioned. So I can quite believe, but why you'd have those things added, I don't know. I preferred, if it is that one, I much preferred it in its original form, I have to say. Larissa says the necklace would look better on someone with a longer neck. I just don't like the way that the things stick out and then drop. It's too much like that. Like, I just don't like it. Orain says, can't believe I made a live chat. I'm always catching the replay. You did indeed make a live. James Medford says, that book is fabulous. Such a great way to enjoy the Queen's jewels. I do use it as a reference book for lots of the jewels. Marie says, love the space and you are looking very dapper. Well, thank you so much. Karen says, please hold up the book, you'd like one. Here it is. It's the Queen's Diamonds, and I still think it's available from the official Royal website. So if you go to the official Royal gift shop, I think it's still available. Right. Oh, thank you for the moderators for dealing with the trolls. Thank you so much. Constance says, was your objection to the necklace itself or to the fact that it was made of emeralds? Both. Both. I'm not particularly keen on emeralds in general, although if it was the Greville Emerald one, I much preferred its original form. I will say that. But I didn't like the way that the extra drops, if it was that one, were adapted and were hanging. I didn't like the way they kind of like shot out and then down. It didn't hang right to me. Yeah, no, I just didn't like it. Scott Goff says, I disapprove of this earlier time. Your absinthe levels are too low. Oh my goodness. Well, get drinking. Nancy says, what is the name of that book? The Queen's Diamonds. And it's by Hugh Roberts. Satonia says, I was so proud of the Duchess of Cambridge for participating in a diplomatic reception. Go, Kate. Yes, I mean, I think she's attended most years, to be fair. And she was, of course, wearing the family order. So this is the one that I think it was given to her last year. Well, she debuted it last year, I think, for the first time. And it's the first family order that was actually made not using any type of animal horn, animal bone, that kind of thing. So yes, no ivory was used to make that particular royal family order as they traditionally were. So I think Catherine's was the first one to be ivory, bone, any type of animal producty type thing free. So there we have it. And of course it is diamonds, and it does show a little miniature picture of the Queen, and that was gifted to Catherine. There is no particular set time as to when royals are gifted the royal family order, although usually it has been in more recent years it's been roughly about the 8-year mark. I think Camilla might have got hers a little bit sooner. She might have been 4 or 6 years, but it's been roughly about kind of 8 years is roughly the marker, I would say. But who knows? Anything could happen. Meghan could get one soon, or she might have to wait until Charles is king. I mean, who knows? We actually don't know. But she was also wearing the sash of the Royal Victorian Order as well. as were, you know, any other of the royal ladies who have the Royal Victorian Order. So sashes and royal family orders and tiaras were all being worn, all the best pieces. Catherine had borrowed the Queen's chandelier earrings and the Nazim of Hyderabad necklace. Joseph says, talking about gemstones, it was wonderful to learn about the engagement ring Prince Harry chose and designed himself for Meghan. Yes, he had two of Diana's diamonds, the smaller diamond. Now, I've always said that I thought that the two smaller stones, I think might have been diamond stud earrings, because they are roughly the same size. They look like they could have been potentially stud earrings at some point. And then, of course, he bought a new, larger central diamond from Africa, which went in the centre. And, of course, he had that designed himself, which is a fairly traditional, you know, wedding ring configuration. Leanne says, I think porcelain instead of ivory. What wasn't it? It may have been porcelain, Catherine's one, but the older ones definitely had ivory content. Oh, or was it glass? I think it might have been glass. Yes, I do think it was glass. Marie says, is it true that the tiara Meghan wore to her wedding was a replica? No, I've not heard that story. Why would she wear a replica tiara borrowed from the Queen? No, that's obviously a fake story. Entirely. Right, what else is on my list to talk about? Oh yes, what happened this week? Now this is probably one of the nicest, sweetest engagements of the whole royal year, and I am of course talking about Camilla's festive Christmas party for really poorly sick children. And she hosts this every year at Clarence House, where the children help her to decorate the tree. It's so sweet, and I think it just shows her really kind, caring nature. And she just looks so at home with the young kids. You can definitely tell, that not only does she have experience of being a mother, but she also has great experience with young children as a grandmother, and you can definitely see her grandmother skills coming out, and she looks at home with the kids, I think, and just to see the smiles on their faces, it really is amazing. So I absolutely love this engagement. It's one of my favourites of the whole year. I always look forward to it, and if you haven't seen my video on that, even if you don't like Camilla, do it for the children, go watch it, because there are so many smiles and festive good cheer that went on this week at Clarence House. It's an amazing engagement, so do go and watch it. Even if you don't like Camilla, go watch it, because just to see those smiles and the happiness and joy is just truly something. Bethan says, oh yes, Camilla's party was lovely. I want to go. Invite me. I need to go next year. Sharona says, who do you think has Diana's sapphire and pearl choker, Catherine or Meghan? I want to see that piece. I really do. Now, I have a hunch on this one. So many people will probably think that Catherine would get that one, because she has the sapphire engagement ring, and she does wear a lot of Diana's sapphire jewellery. And that would be, I think, where we would expect it to go. However, I do have another theory. Now, apart from at the diplomatic reception, where Catherine wore a very big statement necklace, Catherine is a little bit more known, I think, for her more refined love of smaller jewellery. I'm not saying all the time. I mean, of course, she was wearing a great big whopping tiara on her hair. So on the really big occasions, of course, she will wear the big pieces. I think when she becomes Princess of Wales, she'll wear more big pieces at these occasions, and of course, as Queen, she'll have access to all of them. However, typical kind of, normal day-to-day-ish type wear. She prefers more smaller jewellery. Um, Meghan got Diana's large aquamarine ring, and it suited. It really, really did. I think some of the more larger pieces, I don't know, I don't think they look necessarily right on Catherine, but they did look good on Meghan. When she wore that Diana's aquamarine ring, it looked amazing. It looked like it was meant to be. It looked like it fit really, really well. Meghan pulled it off. So I have a theory with the sapphire necklace that Meghan might have it. Yes, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say that I think Meghan, I think it would suit Meghan more. I think she could pull it off. And I think it would, with Catherine's frame, you know, I mean, people comment on Catherine's frame all the time, so I'm not going to make any comments on that. But I think it would kind of swamp and drown, and I think Meghan could carry it off. Let's see what people are saying. Tonia Smith says, the Duchess of Sussex's jewels, some of which are Princess Diana's, are worth more than all of our jewels put together. Yes. Yes, the blue emerald earrings for the wedding, gorgeous. No, the Spencer tiara will never be worn because Meghan and Catherine are not Spencers. Larissa says, but I think Catherine's loved to wear the big pieces in form. Yeah, most definitely. Like I say, she was wearing the Nazim of Hyderabad necklace at the diplomatic reception. That is a huge statement piece. But more kind of day to day. I mean, even going out to theatre, movie premieres and stuff like that. Diana would wear the big diamond, the big pearl and sapphire necklace. I can't see Catherine doing that for some reason. I just can't see. It doesn't fit with her style, I don't think. Okay, we're just dealing with a little trolley troll. Elect Lady says, I thought it was wonderful that Prince Harry gave Prince William his mother's engagement ring to give to Catherine. Yes, it was, and of course when Diana passed away, the boys were given a choice to take an item of jewellery as a keepsake, and it was actually Harry that chose the engagement ring. And when it was Prince William getting married, Harry offered that up so that William could give to Catherine, and that was really, really sweet. Let Lady Glory says Prince Harry is a very thoughtful person. He is, and he was indeed. So Tonya says, yes, here in America we are all following code to the Duchess of Sussex with elegant small pieces. Let's have a look. Robin says, Catherine had on a large jewelled necklace. Yes, I did say. Arain says, I can't wait to see Meghan attend a formal affair at the palace also. It will be amazing, and I can't wait to see what tiara she might wear and debut. Right, let me see what else happened this week. Oh yes, Princess Diana's John Travolta dress. So, it failed to sell at auction. I'm not quite sure who the seller was. Maybe it was the original seller who bought it when Diana auctioned off the dresses. I'm not entirely sure if it's changed hands since the original purchase. However, it went up at auction, it failed to sell, and Historic Royal Palaces, which run the collections in Kensington Palace, bought it. They snapped it up for £220,000, which is a lot of money. However, what they are getting is an incredibly special dress that just looked incredible on Diana. At some point, I imagine this would go up for a public viewing. Obviously, you'll probably have to pay. But as part of an exhibition, I do think it probably will go up at some point, and I can't wait for that to go up. Let's have a look. Yes, Diana's brother owns the Spencer tiara. It was never Diana's in her own right. She had it on long term loan from her father to wear. Elder Poodle says, I love the video you sent with Camilla with the children, so easy for her to make them feel at ease. Indeed it was. Right, now, I can see the question about Sarah, and let me see. So, basically, Sarah gave an interview to Hello Magazine recently, and no, it was Vogue. It was Vogue magazine, and she was basically she was also talking about Meghan, and she was saying, you know, look, I've been in Meghan's shoes. I know how she feels. I still feel the same. People are still coming for me, and who knows? Maybe you know, Sarah, the Duchess of York, does you know, understand some of the things that Meghan's going through. Although I will say that there are differences in terms of we are in a different age. I think the focus on Sarah was never racism, so she can't kind of say that she knows how it feels to be, you know, picked on because of any racial issues. But nevertheless, the Duchess of Sussex most definitely was bullied in in her time as a royal and her time out of the royal family. So I think she, you know, she will be able to you know, have some kind of affiliation with Meghan over that. But of course, obviously now we live in a digital social media age, and back when Sarah joined the family, she didn't have to contend with that. So there are differences, but yes, I mean, out of all the royal ladies, I think probably Sarah has the most to be able to relate to what Meghan's been going through. But obviously, as I've said, with some clear differences going on there. And to be honest, I don't know. This is what Sarah. Well, okay. I'm not going to give a comment on it. I'm just going to. I'll read you what Sarah has said. So she told Vogue magazine, "The last 6 months have been hard on the girls and me. To see such a wonderful man go through such an enormous pain, he is the best man I know. It's just incredible what he has done for Britain, and it's all nonsense. So I talk about familyhood, and I'm very strong about it." Asked about the media coverage of Meghan, she added, "It must be hard for Meghan, and I can relate to her. I believe she is modern and fabulous. She was famous before." She went on, "I tried not to give advice because it's taken out of context, but I have been in Meghan's shoes and I still am. There's always a twist of negativity and it just gets so sad and tiring. It's hard and mean. I abhor bullying and I feel desperately sorry for the pain they must be going through because I've been through it." And there we have it. So that is what Meghan said. Not Meghan, that's what Sarah said about Meghan and with reference to Andrew. So she did defend her, you know, her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, again. I don't know how good these interviews do. I don't know whether people believe them or not. I don't know. I just think it's adding more murkiness to the water without there ever being any kind of conclusion to it. It's just adding more fuel to the fire. Sharona says, "Makes sense for Meghan to wear it due to if Catherine had it, she would have worn it by now." I think you're talking about the diamond, the pearl and sapphire necklace. I'm not entirely sure. Yes, thank you to the moderators for doing a wonderful job. Right, I think I am down to the bottom of the screen, actually. So I'm going to scoot up a little bit and see if there's any other questions. I know we've had quite a few trolls tonight, so thank you so much to the moderators. Karen K says Catherine's neckline was quite similar to the dress. Yes. Right. So Tony Smith says, oh yes, it was a sapphire ring and not earrings. Yes, people talking about the trolls. Yeah. Okay. How are we doing for time? Let me just check the time. Okay, I think I am going to be leaving it for tonight. I'll just see if there's any other questions. Perhaps mineral water with a glass might be good next to me. Well, I normally do have water, but I fancy some tea tonight. Right, I am going to go now. So I'm going to bid you all an amazing and fabulous week. I hope you have enjoyed today's Talk of the Crown. If you have any set suggestions, do leave them in a comment on the video. But I think I'm quite happy with this kind of set for the Talk of the Crown shows. Hey, I may even do it for my live chats in future. I don't know. Let me know whether you prefer my pop-up chats here or over on the desk. Let me know. Anyway, I'm going to bid you all a very fair good night, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. So if you have enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So the next time you see me on Talk of the Crown, hopefully there will be a Christmas tree somewhere over here. So from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.